gentlemen, I just want to, first of all, introduce myself so that you know from the point of view from which I'll be talking. I've been a defense attaché in the United States from 2014 to 2017. I've been a director of procurement at the headquarters Nigerian Air Force for another 2 years. I've been a chief of logistics also at the headquarters Nigerian Air Force for another 2 years. So I'm fully conversant with what it takes to run the affairs of a fighting Air Force. I also understand the limitations we have in Nigeria and what it should have been. So I want you to understand how large is this problem we are trying to address before I make my point. Now, every year, how do we get our budget, capital budget specifically? An arbitrary envelope is simply thrown at us. This year, for example, your budget cap should be 20 billion. It doesn't take into consideration what are the actual needs. What do you need to meet those needs? Now, that is one. Secondly, we are all aware of the exchange rate fluctuations. We have run into problems where even working with the approved budget envelope, we have gone ahead to sign contracts for procurement of equipment. And suddenly, the exchange rate collapses on us, and we are unable to fund it. We have found ourselves every year running back to the federal government for interventions. This is not sustainable. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the cost of equipment. Talking from the point of view of an Air Force officer who has been involved in procurement of equipment, let me give you an example. The procurement of the 12 Super Tucano aircraft cost approximately $500 million. Now, this is a package. The United States will not sell equipment to you and just give you just the equipment bare. There must be support package for a minimum of 3 years. There must be training and other things. That total package came to that amount. How many years will it take you to budget? The maximum from 2017 to date we have received in capital allocation for the Air Force was about 44 billion per annum. Convert that at the current exchange rate. How many years do you need to gather $500 million to buy just 12 aircraft? Look at the expanse of land we are required to cover. Nigeria is over 920,000 square kilometers. Every inch of the land needs to be covered by either surveillance or capability to attack. Where can you get those equipment to cover this land? Even the Northeast alone, how much does it take to maintain even existing aircraft? Because of this, I sincerely believe that the sources of funds we are considering for this bill are grossly inadequate. Let us look at it. Last time, about 2 weeks ago, we had a brief discussion of what we intend to generate from this. We are estimating something in the region of 100 billion naira per annum. Convert that to dollars, because virtually all the equipment are imported. This will go nowhere, and it will not address the problem we are seeking to address unless we expand the sources. Nigerians, I know, are tired of being asked to pay for something. The level of poverty everybody appreciates is severe. However, nobody wants to sleep with only one eye closed. Everybody is scared of traveling on the road because of insecurity. Therefore, I will urge that all stakeholders must educate citizens to understand the need to sacrifice, because if we don't do that, to address this problem, sincerely speaking, will continue to be a mirage. So, if we look at the first aspect, 0.5%, how much is the profit from, for example, investment of National Sovereign Wealth Fund? If you take 0.5%, how much would that give you? If you take another 1% of value-added tax, how much would that give you? So, in addition to expanding the sources of funding, I will also urge that we consider raising the percentage of deduction on each of these areas we are looking at. This is the only way, and by my estimation, if we are not able to raise a minimum of $2 billion per month, $2 billion per annum in the next 3 years for a start. Subsequently, maybe we can begin to taper down the percentages. But for a start, we need a bulk sum, because many of these manufacturers of equipment require 100% down payment to even start production. So you cannot sign a contract, for example, with the US manufacturers and pay 15% mobilization as is required by Procurement Act. Nobody will look at you. Their terms must be followed, and many a times we are asked to pay 100%. The example is the Super Tucano. This one is on government to government, but they insisted 100% payment within 30 days, which we had to meet. No budgetary allocation will fund that. Thank you very much.